Hey, Inspired Tribe. How's it going? It's John Nolan here. It's Kristin Nolan here. Welcome to the Inspired Daily Livestream, the pure positive stream of life. It's March 31st, 2020. And you know what our mantra is for this live stream? We're healthy, we're wealthy, we're whole, and we're free. We're healthy, we're wealthy, we're whole, and we're free. It's so good to see you guys. Please, as always, let us know where you're tuning in from. Let us know how your day's been going. If you have seen the announcement today, is kind of about uncertainty. What is certainty? What is uncertainty? And how do we move forward in uncertain times? And let me put this right here. Let me put this out there. Uncertainty is your friend. Okay? Uncertainty is your best friend. So, hey Rose, how's it going? Rose is tuning in from Nashville, friend of ours here. And so I'm gonna jump into this right now. And basically, what is certainty? And I'm gonna ask you a couple of questions, and I would love for you to answer here in the live chat. Do you feel at times now that your body feels different ever since this whole, for most people, the quarantine or the stay at home or shutdown or however you want to call it has started a week or 2 weeks ago, maybe even longer? Do you feel that you have different body experiences now? Do you feel tired at different times? Do you feel excited at different times? Do you feel anxious at different times? And as a general, do you feel that you're going through some changes, not just spiritually, not just mentally, but also physically? Do you have any of those experiences? I'm curious to know. Um, hey, Drew. Hey, Chrissy. Hey, Lulu. Hey, everyone. So, the reason why I'm asking this is, and I want to go back a little bit to get a better understanding for what certainty is and why certainty basically is the enemy of your growth, of your expansion, and of your desires. So, what certainty means is that you know what is going to happen, when it's going to happen, pretty much how it's going to happen, and you know how it is going to feel. Okay? That's what certainty means. That's basically what a routine is. That is when you know my alarm gets off at 6:30, I get up, I brush my teeth, I get my coffee, I have breakfast, I get dressed, I leave the house, I take the same way to work, I'm sitting at the same. That's certainty, okay? Those are certain programs. And now we collectively, as a planet, have been thrown into complete uncertainty, really, about our futures, if you will. And why is this good? And why have we created this for ourselves? This is the most important question here. So basically, when you feel uncertainty, it means that you have left the old body intelligence. And what that means is, because you have had a routine, because you have done things in certain ways for a longer period of time, your body created a program, which means that it sends out the hormones at certain times a day because it knows that this is what you're expecting. So when you get up, you get certain hormones. When you are in traffic on your way to work, you get certain hormones. When you get anxious or angry at certain times a day, almost every day, because you meet with your boss or because that stupid colleague of yours or whatever, your body suspends those hormones. And your body now is really in charge, because even when you are not following your routine, your body still feels the same way. And that is what certainty means. It means that basically we thought that certainty is something positive. We were certain that if we do this, if we do A, then we get B. If we work hard, we make a lot of money. If we save, we have a retirement. If we are good, we are going to be rewarded. All of those if scenarios, that is what we call certainty. But the certainty was really for so many people that they work. Eventually, they retired. There were some illnesses. There were some health scares. Then they were in retirement, but because they never got used to step out of their comfort zones, really it was the same way. And this is what the body does. This is the body program. And now we have stepped out. Now we're in a time of uncertainty. And that is when we step into the field of creation. Because in uncertainty, it means it's new territory. We haven't been there, which is a surefire sign that we are now closer to the manifestation of our desires. Because when we're outside of what we know, and when what we desire is something that we haven't experienced yet, then we have to step out. Do you agree with me? If you desire something that you have not experienced yet, don't you have to step out of how your life usually feels to get there? Isn't that logical for you that you would have to expand into new spheres to get there? That's what uncertainty is, and uncertainty is your friend. Let me see what you guys are saying here. Lulu says, I'm out of whack in every way, sleeping, eating. I totally get it. Exactly. That's really a good point, Lulu. Thank you for putting it out. Exactly. Out of whack is exactly it. You're probably tired at different times, eat at different. Of course. But embrace it, okay? Embrace it and learn to become comfortable in a state of uncertainty, because that's when the magic happens. And we're not saying that for the rest of your life, uncertainty in terms of, I don't know where I'm going to get my food or stuff. We're not talking about that kind of uncertainty. We're talking about emotional uncertainty. And that's where the growth process really, really starts, is right now, right here. This is the most important time. And if you have at all read Dr. Joe Dispenza's books or have listened to him here, there's a great many video clips here on YouTube, then he will explain to you the science behind this also. And what happens is when you become comfortable in the unknown, then you have created new neurological pathways in your brain. You have now created new ways to not just think, but to create. And this field of infinite possibilities, it has to feel unknown, because that what you want is unknown. You want more abundance, which is unknown to you. You know how it feels, but you don't know exactly what it will all entail. So you have to step into the field of uncertainty. And certainty, well, Sadhguru put it really well. Certainty is suicide in installments. Because when life is certain, when we know exactly how it's going to be and what it's going to entail, then it's very, very, very boring. And the state that we're in right now is probably the opposite of boring. And that's why we should embrace these uncertain times and find new appreciation for the moment, for the right now. It is also a return to the present moment and to the present power. So let me see what you guys are saying here. That's where faith in the unseen is important. Exactly. See, Drew, and this is interesting. Drew says that life already had a lot of uncertainty before. I mean, when basically, and that's my personal experience, when I first entered what people call, adulthood, I felt like I was supposed to create certainty for myself, for my family. I was supposed to do all of the things that you were supposed to do in the old paradigm, and then things would be good. And I never, ever, ever, ever could catch up with that idea. No matter where I went, the idea went further away from me. And I really learned, and we learned, to embrace uncertainty in a way that you then understand who you truly are. You are a divine creator. You aren't just particles, floating around in space and time. You're divine creators. We are divine creators. And as such, why would we feel scared or fearful of something that is part of our creative process, namely uncertainty? So there's absolutely no reason to feel fearful. And for those of you who haven't been here a few days ago when we presented our new definition of fear, I want you to write this down, put it on your fridge or wherever you're going to look at it most. Fear stands for feel elevated awareness to rise. Feel elevated awareness to rise. Because this emotion of fear in a time of uncertainty gives you great power. Fear is very powerful in terms of energy. Now, can you shift the focus to something that you desire? That's fear. Feel elevated awareness to rise. I think we are going to invite our friends from the other side, from up and above, EUCY. And if you guys have any questions, Kristine's going to join us. And yeah, I'm going to go get them. Hey, honey.
Hey, honey. Hey, guys. How are you today?
For those of you who haven't seen Kristine and only ever see me mention her, she does exist, not only in my vortex. This is flesh and bones and spirit and everything. She does exist. So let me get EUCY, and then you guys do what you do. We're very excited to be here.
Oh, thank you so much for being here.
Yes, it's a lot of fun.
It is.
A lot of fun. We understand that there might be some questions floating around.
Yes, let me see. The first question is from Rosie. She is asking, how do we know what our dreams or purpose is?
Really? Really? You don't know what your dream and purpose is? That's so easy to find out that most people go the very hard way about it. But it's so easy, and we're going to ask you a question. What feels the very best to you, and what comes really easy to you? What feels like it doesn't require effort? And what feels so good when you think about it when you fall asleep at night? What is it? And the thing why so many people struggle with the answers that they're getting is because they in their human minds, they're not feasible, they're not monetizable. So they get something that they believe is their purpose, they believe is something that they were meant to do and have a deep feeling about it, but then they go, well, but this is not going to make me any money, this is not going to pay my bills, this is not going to sustain my family. And we understand what you're saying, but you're coming from a place of disconnected thinking. You're coming from a place where your mind and your soul, your body is not aligned with your highest self, and your highest self will show you the way. Because if you feel, and let us give you a very clear example, if you feel that your purpose is to go on a walk that lasts 1,000 miles, let's say that you feel a strong pull to do exactly that, and you decide in your human mind that there's no possible way for you to do that because you're going to run out of money and you're not going to have the means, and then who's going to do that and who's going to take care of this? Let us tell you something. When you feel a very strong inspiration, a strong impulse, then there is a reason for you to do it. And the interesting thing about this is that just because you pictured 1,000 miles, it doesn't mean that you have to actually go all the 1,000 miles. It might be that you just run into the love of your life at mile 2. And you both decide that it is absolutely not necessary to walk the other 998 miles because now you have been there, done that. You have known why you had to go there. And what we're telling you here is that it is so important for you to listen to that guidance, because it will guide you to where you desire to be, to what you have created for yourself in the invisible realm before you even got here. There is this plan for you. Now, we're not saying it's set in stone. We're not saying it's all written out to the minutest detail. But what we're saying is you desired this. You wanted this. You even wanted the uncertainty. You wanted to have this question be so strong that you asked it right here in this forum, so you could be sure that what your guidance system is giving you, what your higher self is giving you, is absolutely 100% trustworthy and accurate.
The next question is, what is meant by becoming who you really are?
This is a big question. We applaud you for asking it. And we want you to know that the first thing that you need to understand, that you are not your body. You're absolutely not your body. You're not the the color of your skin. You are not the color of your hair. You are not your name. You are not your origin, meaning you are not what your citizenship is. You are not your country. There's nothing in the identifiable that is real, because real is only that which is eternal. And let us be clear about that. That which you identify with, which is your body, which is your name, which is your citizenship, which is your religion, which is your affiliations, all those things are not real in the sense that they change all the time. They might not change in a year, but they change over decades and centuries and millennia. And so these things are not you. You associate somehow, you identify somehow in your human experience, but the real you is the eternal, invisible, always part. That which always evolves, but in its nature never changes. That is the real you. And this real you part is always with you. It is always connected to you, however you in your human experience decide whether you want to listen or not, and whether you are ready to live this part fully, because it means that you will transcend your human limitations, not just in the way you think, not just in what is possible for you in terms of success, in terms of all of that which you desire, but you will transcend your human, your bodily, your physical limitations. And that is when this part kicks in, when the real you part kicks in. It is when you are able to do things that you did not know before you would ever be able to do. This is when people lift cars, and this is when others move objects with their thoughts, and this is when people travel in time. Yes, we said it. They travel in time. They really do it. And the real you is that part which you feel when you are so extremely highly excited, and there might not even be a reason for your excitement. That is the real you part. It is showing you a glimpse of what is really possible. It is showing you that your life is not 9 to 5. Your life is not get up, go to work, get things done, go back to bed. That is not what your life is. Now, is there joy in those parts? Yes. Could it be joyful to you in some ways? Yes, absolutely, but it is not who you are. And the interesting, most important part here is that once you understand, once you really live that part, who you really are, in connection with your higher self, in connection with God's source energy, then you can go about your days and do something that you thought to be mundane, that you thought to be insignificant, that you thought to be small, and the smallest deed then becomes divine. In other words, when you are connected to that highest self part of you, and you sit down at your desk and you do something as simple as filing away documents, or as simple as sending an email, this now becomes divinely inspired action, and all of a sudden you find yourself in a whole new sphere, in a whole new experience. And that is the true you, the real you, that has now taken over and is now sending the inspiration, and you are listening and you're living that part. And when you stay connected to that real you part, then the experience of human life will be not just so much more joyful, but you will move in and out these bodily experience in an effortless way. You will not experience sickness and illness and tragic and accidents and all of that, because this divine connection that you are then having means that you're always aligned with your path. And what that means is birth is easy, and what you call death is easy, and everything in between is easy, and everything beyond is easy. Now, how does that feel?
The next question is, How?
Before we go to that question, we would like to know how that feels.
Awesome. She's saying awesome.
We want you, we really, really want you
Amazing.
to go with this feeling. Run with it. Feel it, expand it, know it, because you have just remembered. We haven't told you anything that you have not known. We have just reminded you of that which is always within you. Now we can move on to the next question.
The next question is how to have less resistance.
This is easy. You go and after you're done listening to what we're saying, you go and go into a push-up position. You have done this before, and if it whatever position is comfortable for you, if you can do it in the straight body way where your feet touch the ground and your hands touch the ground, good. If you need to use your knees, good. Just do it. Just do as many push-ups as you can until you can't do them anymore, and you will have lost all resistance right there. So easy to lose all resistance. Sometimes you just have to push a little harder to understand that in this state of exhaustion, you cannot have resistance. That is release. And that is why you see so many people that have grief and that have this strong emotion. They have to come to a place of complete exhaustion before they can let go. And sometimes that is understanding, sometimes that is clarity. But it isn't necessary at all times. But we recommend that you do this at this moment, in this moment in time. But resistance as a general concept is the belief that if I pay enough attention to what I think is holding me back, or to what I think is against me, or what I believe is not allowing me to move forward, if I only pay enough attention to that, eventually I will figure it out and it will dissolve in some ways. But this is not how the universe works. If you push, something will push harder. And if you resist, then what you resist will only become stronger, because it is law of attraction. It is law of resonance. It is, it is the opposite of this. It is the opposite of the breath of life. And resistance means that your mind is so used to focusing on it that even though the greater part of you, the highest self, has already moved on to something different, your mind is still focused on that. And that's why we said, go into a state where you are exhausted enough that you can't think about it anymore, and you will find a little space of non-resistance, a little state of allowing, a little state of being. Might it only be for a few seconds, but expand that state. Go into more places of allowing. And if you have resistance around important topics in your life, then you won't find that space of allowing in those topics right away, but you will find more allowing in something that doesn't really matter to you. So move to things that can be fun and can be joyful, but are not really important to you. And do those things more. Allow yourself to just spend a little more time there. Give yourself permission to enjoy, because when you enjoy, you can't resist. When you have fun, you can't resist. When you can't do so much, can you? And it's effortlessness. It's easiness. It's never complicated. It's always easy. And the reason why so many people are dismissing the answers that they're getting is because they're too easy. Just sit down and have a cup of tea. Yes, sit down and have a cup of tea. But how is this going to solve my mortgage problem? You see, that is the resistance that's coming up. This is the human mind. Go and sit down and have a cup of tea if that is your guidance. And you will be led one step at a time to your solution, because it's already created. Your solution, because of your desires, was already created in the invisible realm. Now it is a matter of you connecting with that solution and allowing it in. And if that means to sit down and have a cup of tea, do it. If that means to do push-ups until you can't do push-ups anymore and feel non-resistance, feel exhaustion to the point where you can only be and not do anymore, do it.
The next question is, generally speaking, what kinds of wonderful shifts and changes can we expect to experience over the next decade on this planet in all areas of interest?
This is it's almost a new playing field. And because of the individual and collective desires that were expressed, and please understand that no thought that you ever think is lost or erased. Everything that you desire, everything that you feel powerfully about is out there and is manifesting. So, what will manifest in physical form in terms of new ideas, in terms of new systems, in terms of new ways of looking at things and living together, discoveries, technologies, and so forth? A lot of it is in place, but the vast majority of it is within you now. It is that which you give your attention to. And so far, the human experience has been way more limited than it will be in the near future. What that means is that you have now released a layer of protection. And this is a good thing. This layer of protection meant that the buffer between what you were thinking and between what you are manifesting was very, very thick. The buffer is now becoming thinner, which means that you are more aligned with who you really are and more aligned with your desires and more aligned and more clear about the fact that what you think you create. The buffer is getting thinner, which means in more tangible terms, you're becoming more responsible. You're becoming more responsible for what you think, for what you do, for what you create, which is a great thing. And it is manifesting faster. The manifestations will come faster and faster and faster. And what is going and how it is going to unfold and what is going to be is up to you, human creators. There are brilliant thought leaders and brilliant vibrational leaders that have created a lot of what is going to be presented and unfolded and seen. But again, the vast majority of the brilliant vibrational leaders have been hiding in plain sight, namely you. You have been hiding in plain sight, and you are now discovering the grandness that is really you. You're now discovering the amazingness that is really you, and you're now discovering the unbelievable potential that you have, because things that you now think will manifest clearer and faster than ever before. So, what is going to unfold? Whatever you create. How is it going to unfold? With the cooperative components of the universe, with every particle of energy and light in the universe. And the universe is going to put it together in the most amazing ways. The way things are going to come about in the near future will blow you away. They will literally blow you away.
That's beautiful. The next question is, do we surround to, or are we already surrounded by God?
We could say this in very clear words. God is all, and all is God. However, awareness means focus, and focus means that you have the ability to put your attention on the desired or the undesired, to put your attention in your human experience to light or darkness, to put your attention to apples or bananas. So you have been given the opportunity to experience complete freedom. And the complete freedom is, are you tuning in to the energy of all that is, or are you tuning in to smaller particles, smaller parts of that energy, to more limited parts of that energy, to more, let's keep it simple, parts of that energy? God is all that is, present everywhere, and ready for you to live this energy, ready for you to create with this energy, ready. But It is not taking you over without you making the active decision. If you understand what we're saying is, that is what free will is. That is what the freedom is that you were giving. You can or cannot. You can allow or you can resist. You can be or you can do. It is a world of duality. This world, this planet, this experience, this dimension is giving you duality. In all that is, in the divine energy, there is no such thing. There is no duality. But here, in your physical, manifested, tangible form, yes, there is duality. So to answer your question, God is all and all is God.
Drew is saying, hi EUCY, I'm continuing to experience the effects of the virus, spiritual and today again physically. My own inner being is guiding me, but I want to know what you see for me this week. Thank you.
What we're asking you is, if the world wasn't focused on this word virus, and if the world wasn't focused on very specific symptoms, if the world wasn't focused so strongly, would you be focused so strongly on those words and on the specifics of what you're experiencing, or would you rather be a little easier about it? Would you say, I'm experiencing a little discomfort, I'm experiencing a little less well-being right now? And you see, you would then wake up in the morning and simply find yourself coughing, or you would find yourself with a fever, or find yourself experiencing what you've experienced before, experiencing something that you have felt before. And you would go with your inner guidance. You wouldn't be so focused on what everyone else is focused on. And by being so focused and by having such emphasis on the word virus, you are literally allowing for everything to come into your experience that you have ever learned about virus. It is all of a sudden this whole vibration becomes active now, because you have put so much attention there that now it is all activated. But just like you have put the attention there, you can put the attention somewhere else. You can put the attention on a little more well-being and go step by step by thinking and doing something that gives you a little more peace and a little more joy and a little more comfort. And so when you turn off and completely let go of everyone who's talking about this, it won't be so dominant anymore. And when you quit reading all about it, it won't be so dominant anymore. And all you really desire to do is to realign with perfect health, is to let your cells know that they are divine, wonderful co-creative parts of your human experience, and that there is absolutely no purpose and need for you to be in a state of discomfort. And if you were to allow this process, then within minutes, hours at the worst, you would be able to move into a state of complete health again. Complete health again. As a matter of fact, it could happen within seconds if you knew how to fully allow, and you will within your life experience, you will learn how to fully allow that, but it is a process that is unfolding. So, align with perfect health, align with more well-being, align with joyful thoughts, and let go of the focus on that which you do not desire.
How can one connect more closely to our higher self?
You know exactly what we're going to say, don't you? Would you say it for us?
Meditate.
Would you say
Meditate.
it again
Meditate.
and again and again and again?
Meditate. Meditate.
Again and again and again and again?
Yes.
Say it again.
Meditate, meditate, meditate.
Say it again.
Meditate, meditate, meditate.
Yes. Meditate. We are astonished. The cure has been given. The cure has been given. The cure has come with the product, you see. The cure was given from day one. And the practice of meditation is nothing that can be replaced. It is as simple as that, because, and you don't have to call it that. Meditation is just the word that is most widely known. But to connect means to become still. And why? Because when you're using your senses, when you're watching, when you're hearing, when you're smelling, when you're tasting, when you're touching, where is your focus? And now, to understand why it's impossible, please be sad and happy at the same time. Can you? You cannot. It is impossible to be happy at the same time and sad at the same time. Likewise, it is impossible to see and hear and smell and touch and be still within. And that is the connection that you're seeking. When your senses, which are limited, your senses are limited, when you shut them off and you go within and you close your eyes and you become still and you just listen to something that soothes you, something that, whether that's music, whether that's a guided meditation, or whether that's just the faucet or any other constant, not too loud noise, then you will fall into the state of peace. And in this state of peace, you will not have to connect with your higher self through your willpower. That's the default setting. That's how it is supposed to be. That's what's going to happen through meditation naturally. You can enhance it. You can stay longer. You can go deeper. You can move higher. You can do all of that. But understand that being connected with your higher self is your default state. That is how you were born. That is how it was supposed and meant to be. We believe. We know. We are certain because we see it that everything, absolutely everything, is going to be more than all right for you. It is going to be fantastic. It is going to be unknowingly beautiful. Your future holds experiences and revelations and epiphanies and understandings that you cannot fathom right now. Your future holds so much expansion within you and for who you really are, that all we ask you to do is get into this state of allowing, get into the state of openness, get into the state of excitement, get into the state of creativity, get into the state of being receptive for the amazing things that are already unfolding and to come. These are amazing times for you. Amazing times for you. We can't even find the words. They haven't been invented yet. But rest assured, this time is going to produce new words to describe the grandness of the experience ahead of you. And so.
It is.
And so.
It is.
And so.
It is. Thank you.
Hey everyone, it's good to be back. Thank you for tuning in with us today. Thank you for your questions for EUCY. If you ever feel like this is not the forum where you would like to ask your question or have a deeper conversation with EUCY, please let us know. There's always a possibility to do a one-on-one session, and sometimes that's the best way to go. Also, if you feel inspired to support the work that we do, we've put a link right here in the description. And also, of course, we have our merch store. That is another way to run around as inspired as Kristin does. But mainly, we love this interaction. We love being with you. We love talking with you. We love
all your questions.
Yes, we love this co-creation on the leading edge. Inspired Tribe, we see you all tomorrow, 2 p.m. Central Standard, right here in the Inspired channel. And for now, have an inspired
rest of your day.